Welcome back to Disheveled with Adam White, or Dishelved. You can see the play on words there. Uh, this week I'm going to talk to you about the Sisters of Battle Omnibus by James Swallow. It is a Warhammer 40,000 series. I don't have the omnibus, but I have the original novels that are collected in the omnibus. The first of which is Faith and Fire, and the second of which is Hammer and Anvil. Both are excellent, excellent books. Now, let me begin by saying that you may say, oh, um, this is Warhammer 40K. I don't know anything about that. Well, let me tell you this. You don't need to know anything about the 40K rules. You don't need to know anything about just Warhammer 40K in general. You don't have to know how to play. You don't have to know how to use the miniatures or how to painstakingly paint the miniatures. Now, I've done all that, and it's a good time. It's actually kind of relaxing to paint miniatures. I haven't played so much, but I've done a lot of miniatures. Um, and But the point is that you don't need to know any of that to read these books. You can pick them up without having anything prior knowledge to 40K, and you can enjoy these books as they are. The Faith and Fire and Hammer and Anvil are collected in an omnibus edition called Sisters of Battle by James Swallow. It also collects two shorts, one of which was an audio book, and they have it in the written form for the first time, and the other was an electronic short story that they had, and they collect them both in there. Now, it's available cheaply on Kindle. The actual paperback must be out of print because it looked pretty expensive when I looked it up, which I didn't know before I started coming up with this little thing here on these books. But hopefully everybody's got a Kindle and you can get it fairly cheaply. It comes from the Black Library, which I really like a lot. The Black Library is Warhammer 40K's own publishing arm. They have tons of books, lots of books, and they always collect them in omnibus editions. And I highly recommend any of them. I have never read a Black Library book that I didn't like. And like I said, I don't know much about the actual playing of the game. Like I said, I do have some experience with the miniatures, and I have read the rules, but it doesn't matter. You don't need those to read any of the Black Library books. They're great science fiction books. Uh, I've read a lot of them. I've never read one I didn't like. I've probably read at least 30 Black Library books. I've sat and devoured whole omnibuses at a time. Uh, they're just that good. The first novel, Faith and Fire, I'll read you what it says about it. In the grim nightmare of the future of the 41st millennium, the witch hunting zealots of the Sisters of Battle stand between humanity and damnation. From the elite seraphim warriors to the berserk sisters Repentia, they are the strong arm of the ecclesiarchy and the brutal hammer of the witches. When dangerous psychic heretic Taurus Vaughn escapes from her custody, Seraphim Maria is disgraced in the eyes of her fellow sisters and superiors. Following Vaughn's trail to the planet Neva, Miria takes her sisters in pursuit, and along with Hospitaller Sister Verity, starts her investigations. When they uncover a terrifying plot that could threaten the future of the Imperium, is Miria's and Verity's faith strong enough for them to triumph? It's the short version is this is about a heretic, which is somebody that goes against, he has psychic abilities, which they don't like, people that have psychic abilities, so they hunt them down, and Taurus Vaughn escapes their custody, And throughout the book, you discover, is he really a villain, or is there something more sinister behind what's going on with him? Uh, he's a very good character, very interesting character, as are the Sisters of Battle that they use in this. Um, it deals with faith and ideals and political intrigue. There's lots of war, major battles. If you like that kind of stuff, this is definitely something you'll want to read. Um, it also kind of deals with, where does duty end and doing the right thing begin? Because the Sisters of Battle are very firm in their beliefs and their duty to the emperor, and they are following orders on, no matter what they are, and it's always considered right. But they have to look and say, okay, well, is this really the right thing, or do I need to be doing something else that's really the right thing here? Turns out in an interesting way that you don't really see coming. Um, Very good book, Faith and Fire. Loved it. I read it when it first came out, and then I read it again before I read the sequel. Like I said, this is particular edition is probably hard to find. I got it when it came out. I kind of wish I got the omnibus as well, but it's got a different cover. But that's what you'll want to look for: the Sisters of Battle omnibus by James Swallow. The next one is Hammer and Anvil. It's a sequel to Faith and Fire. The Sisters of Battle are the Emperor's most devout worshippers, fierce warriors preaching the purity of the Imperium and scourging their enemies with bolter and flamer. Those are their types of guns. On a distant world, the ecclesiarchy outpost of Sanctuary 101 was wiped out by an implacable foe, the fearless, soulless Necrons. Now a mission of the Sisterhood has returned to reconsecrate the site, but the metallic nightmares still lurk in the darkness, guarding a secret that has lain dormant for millennia. A vicious battle will be fought, one that can only end in the total destruction of the unrelenting Xenos or the annihilation of the proud Adepta Sororitas, which is just another name for the Sisters of Battle. Uh, it takes place on a desolate, distant outpost that was destroyed by Necrons, which are like kind of these undead metal monstrosities. Really interesting villains. Uh, Again, you don't need to know anything about the game to get into this. I would recommend you read Faith and Fire first, which I'm sure will come first in the omnibus edition. But you'll want to read them both because they're both very good. If I had to say, I'd say Faith and Fire I liked just a little bit more than Hammer and Anvil, because I like the Taurus Vaughn character a lot. Um, in this one, they're fighting Necrons and discover an ultimate danger that could spell the end of the Imperium as they know it. They have to go again outside their comfort zone, and it's something again they run into the differences between doing the dutiful thing and doing the right thing. And so you get some of that in this too, which is always that's always a good uh, I can't think of the word, but it's always a good thing to have in a story, because so many people today are blinded by politics and what they think is their duty, and a lot of times that's different from doing the right thing, and we need more of that. So always a good thing to read about that in a book. It is the sequel. It continues the story of Myria and Verity, as well as some new characters. War permeates the stories, but it doesn't define them. Uh, that's the thing you'll know if you know anything about Warhammer, which again, you don't need to, is that in the 41st millennium, everything is war. There's just war all over the place. Everybody's at war with everybody else. And so, I mean, there is a lot of that in there, but these stories tell smaller moments of that war and really get into the characters, and you find the characters very interesting, and really good characters, really good work. They can be read on their own as great sci-fi novels. They're just great books. I really enjoyed them, and I think you will too. The two short stories that accompany them are also very good. I have the one on audiobook that I've listened to. Very good short story. I can't remember what it's called. I don't remember the name of the other one too. I've got it as an ebook. But if you get the omnibus edition, you get all that together. And so you've got it all in one place, everything that James Swallow wrote for the Sisters of Battle, which is great. I highly recommend it. It's a great series. James Swallow has some other books. I'd highly recommend checking them out as well. He's a really good writer. I really enjoy these books. Again, you don't have to know anything about the 40K game to get in on these. They're very good books. Faith and Fire, Hammer and Anvil. You'll find them um, in the omnibus Sisters of Battle by James Swallow. I highly recommend you check them out. And thanks for listening or checking in and watching this week. And I hope you have a good week.